This is evaluation question number 7, where we looked at our preliminary task and then compared it to our final product.
When we filmed our preliminary task, we did not use the tripod, meaning that our footage was shaky and looked very unprofessional. Therefore, when we filmed our opening sequence, we used the tripod in order to prevent our footage from turning out looking the same way. However, when we did not use the tripod for shots such as a handheld shot, this was purposely meant to look unsteady as it was from a character's eyes point of view.
And when we were filming, we did not have any scenes that involved being outside during the evening, so there was no natural light available. Therefore, this was not a problem when we did film. However, it meant that when we were filming in the bedroom with Saf at night, the lighting was artificial and made some of the room in the background look a yellow colour, and then we had to adjust this during the editing stage by using colour grading.
When filming our preliminary, we used an iPhone camera, therefore it was only using an autofocus. At the time, this didn't seem a problem due to it only being a preliminary task, meaning that the quality didn't actually have to be as high as when filming our final opening sequence. We decided that using an iPhone camera for our final sequence would obviously not be high enough quality focus, therefore we used a DSLR camera instead. This meant that we could manually adjust the focus settings if we needed to. We mainly used the autofocus setting on the camera, however when filming the train station scene we used a zoom-in shot, meaning that we had to manually adjust the focus in order to give it a clearer image.
In our sequence we used post-production during the editing, and when we had recorded all of our footage and then put it together, we knew where we needed to add the other sound effects. We used the sound effects on the footsteps, the button in the train station, the knocking at the door and the kettle pouring the water. We did not record the train tannoy because it was being called out when we filmed, so we just used it and turned the sound up of that part to make it louder. And then this happened again when we filmed the radio, and there was a news report when we filmed it about a plane crash, which was what we wanted to record initially before, and then we added some other transitions in the clips to make them flow better so they weren't too jumpy. And then when we came to the colour grading, I added a teal and orange effect to get rid of any harsher light and to give it a warm feel for the audience. And we didn't use any sound foley other than what was pre-recorded in the settings of Final Cut Pro.
When recording our preliminary task, the continuity was not a problem due to it only being a very short sequence. However, when coming to film our real sequence, we had to ensure that all of our footage put together made sense to us and also to the audience. If it did not make sense to us, then it definitely would not make sense to the audience. This did become a problem when watching our footage through, therefore we had to rearrange the order of our scenes in order to make it make sense.
In the soundtrack that we chose, it was called Light It Up Tonight, which was an upbeat song and it featured male vocals. We chose this because our opening sequence featured 2 teenage girls who would have stereotypically listened to a song like this. We got the song from a website called audionetwork.com and we bought 2 versions of it, the one with the vocals and another was the instrumental, so that we could cut the vocals out when we needed to. So from the beginning to halfway through we used the vocals, which was where we introduced the 2 girls in their bedrooms, which is where they stereotypically listen to music like this. Then from the midpoint I cut the song out into the instrumental version, so that I could then fade it out to the more important part of the sequence, which is where the detective came in.
In the videos below this clip we have some audience feedback to our opening final sequence.